Okay, guys, we are back at it. And in this one, we are going to talk about how to trade breakouts and avoid false signals. If you have been seeing the recent videos, I've been making a string of these to teach you guys how to trade, how to invest, the professional ways to make these moves and avoid making those mistakes. The more uncertainties you can take away, the more certain you can be. And I'm going to show you how you can most certainly take away all those uncertainties when you're going for your breakouts for your quick day trades. As per all the other videos, I'll be showing you this from your most active for you day traders, for the 52-week lows and long-term investors and swing trades, and how to calculate it all in between, okay? Let's start out with our most active stocks, and I'll show you how day traders, because that's what everybody likes to try to find first, is those fast day trades, catch the breakout using your VWAP. If you've been seeing the previous videos, I was showing you how to use the RSI and how to use the MACD, how to compare those along with your volume and your key statistics, and how to match all that up on your long-term time frames like your monthlies, your swing trade time frames like your 4 hours, and the day trade time frames like these 15s and 1 minute charts. And if you can spot out that income reversal for the lows and oversold matching up with that MACD for the next round of the bullish divergence, then you can get that stock to break out over your VWAP. And this is what they look for when they are looking for the breakout. They want to see that they candlesticks break out over that VWAP. Once it breaks out over that VWAP, then it'll become overbought at some point where the quick fast day traders, they're going to want to lock in some gains there. You know how that goes. They're going from 30 cents up to about that 41 cents. You start to get that overbought RSI to make the next round up small bearish divergence. So quick day traders want to lock in a quick round of gains there. It will retest the VWAP. Notice how your RSI goes back down to the middle range where I tell you just a more cautionary position. And what they're looking for is the next round up the bullish divergence to match up. Follow along with your RSI and MACD. It'll tell the rest of the story for you when you're looking for that next breakout to come into your VWAP. And that next breakout is going to come in strong. Remember, if your RSI isn't going all the way back over sold, you don't have to sell. It becomes a more cautionary position. You're always going to get people to get their quick rounds. Bullishness, then a quick round of bearishness. And it's always going to be another round coming in. When you hone out on it, because we are looking at a 1 minute chart, and notice how that breakout came in for a decent move. That was like 30 cents up to about, what's that, about 55 cents. You're watching for that breakout. So, and notice this. Take note of how we're watching this in the gray area. If you are newer to trading, the gray area on here is your extended hours. If you don't have your gray area and or your extended hours on, showing you the pre-market and after hours, then you are at a disadvantage. You need to be able to see that extra data in between to be able to truly analyze what's going on, especially if you finna be getting that breakout. And people really like to get that breakout for a day trade into the pre-market, which is why we're looking in the pre-market. And it's the safest time to get your day trades because you can be the first one up and out in and out in the morning time. You could get that later on in the days, but like look on later on in the day here. And we're looking at SMX. If you notice here, these are the same examples from the previous videos because I'm making all of these videos all in the same weekend to get all of you prepared to make sure that you can succeed when the markets open up tomorrow morning. And join me in my Banking with Billy Master Classroom where I'm in here doing the live trades, teaching the live lessons, the whole shamboozle. Let's get right back into it with SMX coming in for another bull run here into the intraday, and notice how it will go back down to its lows and oversolds on the RSI. Take note of how we still on our 1 minute chart as well. And your MACD will go down to make the next round of bullish divergence. Gets choppy up in there because you got so many day traders doing the get in, get out up in there. It makes it a dangerous move. But you can hone out on this from this position right here. And you go down to your 15-minute chart and you'll be able to see when or if that stock is actually going back down to its most low and oversold position in the last trading day, and recognize that breakout that was coming into the pre-markets where it was having easier and cleaner day traders and stuff like that versus in the intraday where everybody's doing nonsense and selling it off. Especially if you were seeing my last video about when that volume was getting big and all the day trade nonsense was going on. So what could have been a decent long term swing, because I like to show you guys this on a monthly chart at the very bottom, and everybody held, well, this thing will probably already be up over $1. But if you go back in and notice, everybody's selling this thing off because it's high in volume. You can't really get that breakout off a VWAP off a 15-minute chart. You really got to use it on your 1 minute charts. You want to watch out for the intraday because the intraday breakouts might not be as good, or definitely not going to be as easy as that pre-market breakout for sure. I can show you another example. We're going to show you an example of getting that breakout off of a different stock. Let's go look at Rhyme stock. If you were noticing Rhyme stock in the earlier videos, and we'll look at Rhyme stock down here at the bottom. Notice how Rhyme stock goes down to that big sell-off. Let me take this VWAP off so you'll be able to see everything in between. Rhyme goes to this big sell-off. Oversold, coming in for bullish divergence, finna explode, all that good stuff like that. Just now really picking up in volume in the last trading day. All the day traders don't notice this just yet. They will start noticing this into the next week. And you go down to a 15-minute chart and a 1-minute chart and whatnot into the after hours, or when it start really picking up, you can notice where charts start to break out over that VWAP. They look for a breakout. Now, me myself, I don't really recommend only chasing the breakout, because you don't have to chase the breakout on the stock. If you're getting that breakout, that means you're really getting it almost last, or a riskier move nonetheless. You always still want to get it, like I showed you guys in previous videos, how to get it low and oversold at the very bottom, coming in for the next round of the bullish divergence. And if you don't make it in time, because maybe you can't catch everything in time and stuff like that, you know how it goes, then you see it late. And then this is how you can clarify if it's still safe for you to get in there. Because you can turn on and off your VWAP. You can be able to see if it's still getting ready to make that breakout. And if it doesn't break back under that VWAP, then you still are good for the next uptrend. And you can always hone out on a bigger time frame. And this the breakouts are always going to be easiest to get off of a high stat stock. For example, you look at this one, SCPX, with a low value, you got a 500,000 in value, my average value of 100,000. Notice they're not really breaking out because they don't get the volume to add in that pressure to push them up to have a breakout, which is why people like to go for the breakouts for the most actives and or high volume, high volatility stocks. SOUN, for example, if we look on SOUN over on a 1-minute chart, you can see where this thing goes from its most lows and oversold position to making the bullish divergence, where it has a breakout, becomes massively overbought up there. What's that, around like $15, And we're not talking about prices and stuff like that here. This is really all about making sure you understand how to follow along with the flow and catch a breakout. And if you catch that breakout and your candlesticks are about to go back under that VWAP, and your MACD is making bearish divergence, it's time to get out of there so you can avoid making a risky mistake, and make sure you remember to still lock in gains at the top when your RSI is overbought. And if you've been following along with all of this now in this video, you can see where it's safer still to use your RSI and MACD showing you clean reversals at the bottom versus chasing it up for a riskier move off the VWAP for a last minute breakout. But there are such things as breakout traders that use that and trade off of these stops. Me myself, if I'm catching a breakout, I'm probably only doing it up in the morning when I'm waking up. And I kind of just let my swing trades run. And if you're the newer trader, you really probably really just stick
Suck.
into swing trades. Swing trades is where you're gonna be really getting all of the natural consistencies from, where you can really actually follow along and digest all that information. If you are just only going for risky day trades and breakouts, you don't have time to digest that information. And you're dealing with a lot of FOMO and problems and stuff like that in between, because as soon as and this is a 1-minute chart, you see all those red candles coming in between. Every single one of those dips gonna be making you feel nervous all throughout the day, especially if you just got off a breakout rather than got at the bottom. And don't let it retest the VWAP. Oh, because everything finna start getting crazy there. You better hope it don't break under. And remember, it's always best to get that thing when it's at its most lows and oversold position down at the bottom. And you don't need this VWAP. But I am gonna be showing you guys a couple other indicators you can be using. A couple other indicators I know that, and some of these indicators. There's one indicator I'll just show you this right now, the super trend. Look at this thing tell you exactly when to buy and sell. I'm gonna make a video on this one as well here today. I'll see you guys there, and happy trade.